Welcome back to Dream Analytica, where we talk about dreams, dream interpretation, and fundamental psychological concepts based primarily on Jungian psychology. Hello, my name is R, and today we will be talking psychology, namely psychological complexes. We'll go over what it is, what it looks like, why it's important, and what we can do to discern them. A complex is a psychological structure rooted in the unconscious. It takes the form of an underlying theme such as power or status by grouping together clusters of emotions, memories, perceptions, and desires. Complexes typically emerge in response to a perceived threat to the stability of one's sense of self. In psychoanalysis, complexes stand in opposition to drives or instincts. Unlike drives that propel individuals towards certain behaviors, complexes are intricate constellations of psychological elements that influence how one responds to certain situations, often leading to intense emotional reactions or patterns of behavior. A complex, as conceptualized by Carl Jung, is a central and intricate element of his analytical psychology. It refers to a dynamic and emotionally charged network of thoughts, feelings, memories, and perceptions that are linked around a common theme. These themes often stem from significant personal experiences, traumas, or unresolved conflicts from an individual's past. Jung believed that complexes reside in the unconscious mind, exerting a powerful influence on one's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. When triggered, a complex can activate a cascade of associated thoughts and feelings, which may be intense and irrational. These complexes can influence how individuals perceive the world around them, how they react to situations, and how they react with others. Each complex has its own distinct characteristics and can manifest in various forms. For example, an inferiority complex might lead someone to constantly feel inadequate, while a mother complex could influence one's relationship and attitudes towards maternal figures. Complexes are not inherently negative. They can also contain positive aspects. However, they become problematic when they dominate the psyche and hinder personal growth. Recognizing and integrating these complexes is a fundamental aspect of Jung's process of individuation, the journey towards becoming a more balanced and self-aware individual. In summary, a complex, according to Jung, represents a dynamic and emotionally charged cluster of thoughts, feelings, and memories with a common theme. It exerts a profound impact on an individual's psyche, shaping perceptions and behaviors, and plays a pivotal role in the broader framework of analytical psychology and the pursuit of self-discovery. An illustrative instance of a complex can be observed in the following scenario. Imagine an individual who underwent a leg amputation during childhood. Despite overcoming the physical challenge, this experience significantly shapes the person's life. They may harbor a magnitude of thoughts, emotions, and memories ranging from feelings of inferiority to moments of triumph, bitterness, and unyielding determination, all centered around this particular facet of their existence. Should these thoughts become distressing and all-encompassing, Jung would describe this as the person harboring a complex concerning their leg. The ego itself can be thought of as a complex, not yet fully integrated with other parts of the psyche, namely the superego and the ID or unconscious. As described by Jung, by ego I understand a complex of ideas which constitutes the center of my field of consciousness and appears to possess a high degree of continuity and identity. Hence I also speak of an ego complex. Some complexes can usurp power from the ego and can cause psychological disturbances and symptoms resulting from the development of a neurosis. Jung described the autonomous, self-directing nature of complexes when he said, "What is not so well known, but far more important theoretically, is that complexes can have us. The existence of complexes throws serious doubt on the naive assumption of the unity of consciousness, which is equated with the psyche, and on the supremacy of the will. Every constellation of a complex postulates a disturbed state of consciousness. The unity of consciousness is disrupted, and the intentions of the will are impeded or made impossible. Even memory is often noticeably affected, as we have seen. The complex must therefore be a psychic factor that, in terms of energy, possesses a value that sometimes exceeds that of our conscious intentions. Otherwise, such disruptions of the conscious order would not be possible at all. And in fact, an active complex puts us momentarily under a state of duress, of compulsive thinking and acting, for which, under certain conditions, the only appropriate term would be the judicial concept of diminished responsibility. Here are a few prime examples of complexes with some hypothetical instances. Inferiority complex. A person who constantly feels inadequate and unworthy due to past experiences of being criticized or compared unfavorably to others. This complex can lead to chronic self-doubt and a tendency to underestimate their abilities. Sarah constantly compares herself to her colleagues at work and believes she's never good enough. Even when she achieves success, she dismisses it as luck and attributes her accomplishments to others' help. Mother complex. An individual whose thoughts, emotions, and actions are strongly influenced by their relationship with their mother. This might manifest as seeking maternal nurturing or approval in all their interactions and decisions. Mark seeks constant approval from his female partners, mirroring the way he sought his mother's validation as a child. He feels incomplete without their affirmation and tends to prioritize their opinions over his own. Authority complex. Someone who reacts intensely to any form of authority, often swinging between excessive compliance and rebelliousness. This stems from unresolved emotions related to authority figures from their past, affecting their ability to navigate power dynamics. Emily has a tendency to switch between submissive behavior around authority figures and defiance when rules are imposed. She unconsciously relives her conflicted relationship with her strict father in her interactions with bosses and mentors. Victim complex. A person who habitually sees themselves as a victim, attributing all their problems and setbacks to external factors or other people. This complex can lead to a sense of helplessness and a lack of responsibility for their own actions. Whenever things go wrong, Alex attributes his failures to external factors like bad luck or unfair circumstances. He rarely takes responsibility for his mistakes and believes the world is conspiring against him. Hero complex. An individual who consistently seeks to rescue or save others, often at their own expense. Driven by a need to be perceived as heroic, they may disregard their own well-being to fulfill this role. Lisa often volunteers for extra tasks at work, sacrificing her own free time to help colleagues. She feels compelled to be the go-to person for solving everyone's problems, even if it causes her stress and burnout. Sibling complex. A person whose interactions and relationships are deeply influenced by their experiences and emotions related to siblings. This might manifest as rivalry, jealousy, or an insatiable need for validation in comparison to their siblings. Michael constantly seeks his parents' validation, feeling overshadowed by his younger brother's achievements. He yearns for attention and struggles to form meaningful relationships as he's always comparing himself to his sibling. Success complex. Someone who is intensely driven by a need for success and recognition. Rooted in a desire to prove themselves due to past feelings of inadequacy, this complex can lead to relentless ambition and a fear of failure. Chris works tirelessly to climb the corporate ladder, driven by a fear of being seen as a failure. He believes that his worth is solely defined by his professional accomplishments and often neglects his personal life. Abandonment complex. An individual who fears being abandoned or rejected in relationships. This can result in clinginess, emotional dependency, and difficulty forming secure and stable connections. Jenny becomes excessively anxious and emotionally dependent in her romantic relationships. She constantly worries that her partners will leave her, leading to clinginess and a feeling of insecurity. Sexual complex. A person whose thoughts and behaviors are significantly influenced by unresolved or conflicting feelings related to sexuality. This complex may lead to difficulties in forming healthy and satisfying intimate relationships. Mark finds it difficult to form intimate relationships due to unresolved guilt and shame surrounding his past sexual experiences. He often distances himself emotionally from potential partners to avoid confronting these feelings. Cultural complex. An individual whose reaction and beliefs are shaped by the cultural or societal norms they have internalized. This can lead to biases, misunderstandings, and conflicts with those who hold different cultural perspectives, limiting open-mindedness. Maria holds strong biases against people from different cultural backgrounds, often making stereotypical assumptions about their behavior and values. She unconsciously projects her own cultural norms onto others, leading to misunderstandings and conflict. These explicit examples illustrate how each complex can shape an individual's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in distinct and sometimes challenging ways. Distinguishing a complex requires keen self-awareness and a systematic examination of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Follow these explicit steps to identify and understand the presence of a complex. Self-observation. Begin by observing your inner experiences without judgment. Pay attention to recurring emotional reactions, thoughts, or behaviors that seem to arise in specific situations. Identify patterns. Look for consistent themes or triggers that evoke intense or irrational responses. These triggers could be specific people, places, events, or topics. Intensity check. Gauge the intensity of your emotional reaction. Complexes often involve heightened emotions that feel out of proportion to the situation. Automatic responses. Observe instances where you react impulsively or without conscious control. Complexes can lead to immediate and almost reflexive emotional or behavioral reactions. Reflect on origins. Delve into your past to uncover potential origins of these patterns. Reflect on significant life events, traumas, or experiences that might have contributed to the formation of the complex. Dream analysis. Pay attention to recurring themes or symbols in your dreams. Dreams often provide insights into underlying psychological dynamics, including the presence of complexes. Projection awareness. Be mindful of instances where you attribute certain feelings, thoughts, or characteristics to others that seem unrelated to them but resonate with your own inner experiences. Feedback seek. Enlist the perspective of trusted friends, family, or professionals. They can provide valuable insights and help you identify patterns that you might not be fully aware of. Journaling. Maintaining a journal to track your emotional responses, triggers, and any patterns you notice. Writing down your experience can provide you clarity and facilitate self-discovery. Time and consistency. Complexes persist over time and tend to manifest in various aspects of your life. Monitor the consistency of your reactions and behaviors across different situations. Explore resistance. Notice if you tend to avoid certain topics, discussions, or situations. Resistance to confronting specific issues could indicate the presence of an underlying complex. Professional guidance. If you suspect the presence of a complex is affecting your well-being or relationships, consider seeking support from a trained therapist, particularly one familiar with Jungian analysis. By diligently following these steps, you can unravel the intricate web of your own psyche, identifying and understanding the presence of a complex. This self-awareness lays the foundation for addressing and integrating the complex into your conscious awareness, fostering personal growth and emotional well-being. To recap, a complex refers to a collection of thoughts, feelings, memories, and experiences centered around a common theme. These themes often stem from significant emotional events, traumas, or unresolved conflicts. Complexes operate within the unconscious mind and can influence an individual's thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. They can trigger intense and often irrational reactions, shaping perceptions and interactions with the world. Jung believed that understanding and integrating complexes is essential for personal growth, self-awareness, and psychological well-being. The existence of complexes is widely accepted within the realm of depth psychology. This branch of psychology asserts that the significant portion of an individual's personality is shaped by unconscious processes. According to Jung's conceptualization of the psyche, complexes are prevalent and prominent aspects of the psychic terrain. In the context of psychotherapy, they frequently emerge as subjects of examination and resolution, particularly during the pursuit of individuation or psychological wholeness. When left unresolved, complexes maintain a covert and counterproductive sway over our thoughts, emotions, and actions. This hinders the attainment of psychological integration, preventing us from harmoniously combining various facets of our being into a cohesive whole. Thank you so much for listening, and please consider liking and subscribing, or leave a comment below if you learned a little more about psychology. Since our channel is small, your support is meaningful and will have a lasting impact, allowing us to continue making these videos to aid individuals like yourself in understanding dreams, psychology, and much more. And once again, thank you.